Found my wife notebook. Written on the first page was a 10-step plan detailing how she was going to leave me for another guy. I turned it into first step. Hello, guys. My name is Thomas and my cheating wife name was Lisa. I lived in Houston, Texas. In this video, I'll show you the most bad moment of my life. If you like my story, please thumbs up on this video and subscribe to my channel. It was during my college days when I met Lisa for the first time. She was studying in my college and I was 2 years older than her. She was one of the most beautiful girls in our college who participated in every activity and was very attractive, who was well known by all the teachers, and she was everyone's friend. Every student in the college knew her. She was such a good singer in classical singing. She used to compete with other colleges and won every time in singing competitions. Her song was loved by everyone. No student in the entire college had the guts to beat her in singing competition. Lisa was as beautiful as she sang. Boys always gravitated towards her and wanted to talk to her. Many boys liked her and one of them included me. They liked her very much and wanted to make her his girlfriend. But Lisa did not like any boy in particular and always focused on her studies and on singing. She took her singing lessons very regularly. I liked Lisa so much. I enrolled in singing classes for her despite not having any interest in singing or just wanting to see her. And for her friendship, I started taking singing classes. I probably never paid as much attention to my studies as I did to singing. I never skipped a single singing class just for the sake of it. But Lisa never paid any special attention to me. She never liked me. We were in the same class. Sometimes we would talk about studies, but there was never a special moment between us. But then again, due to my good luck, Lisa and I were selected for the final project. We both had to complete the final project together so we could get good grades. The project was for 1 month, and that 1 month was the most beautiful of my life as I was getting the opportunity to work very close to Lisa for the first time. All this month, I tried very hard to be close to Lisa and tried my best to keep her happy, but she did not like me. She was never attracted to me. We became somewhat friendly, but in spite of my intense struggle, I could not join her list of good friends. Lisa was a very good-hearted girl. I probably only loved her for her good singing and beauty before. But during this month of the project, when I got to work very close to her, I realized that she's a very nice girl and she has many qualities which made me love her more and more, but I could not make her fall in love with me. Time passed and the project was completed. We both got very good grades in the project. In the whole month of the project, I could not do a single thing that made Lisa like me. We both had great focus on getting good grades by making fabulous project. Lisa was very good at studying, so most of her focus was on studying. One of the reasons why Lisa don't like me was that I was not very handsome or a smart boy. She was very beautiful and attractive. Of course, she deserved a very handsome boy. It was the fact that I liked Lisa, but I never got depressed. Lisa did not like me because I knew very well that I wasn't worth it. All of my friends knew I liked Lisa a lot, and she had also some idea that I liked her and wanted her to be my girlfriend. But she included me among all the other guys, those who loved her. Because she had a large number of lovers and I was far away from her. All my friends used to tell me one thing, that if Lisa liked someone else, a boy would stay with her a lot. And everyone had a doubt that those two like each other. That boy was our senior and very handsome. Everyone suspected that those two liked each other, but no one was sure. They both started to spend a lot of time with each other whenever they were seen talking to each other in the canteen. I also thought that they liked each other. But because I wanted her so much, I always denied it. Those beautiful college days passed. And the last day of college came at our party. Her friend proposed her in front of everyone and they both kissed each other. When that moment passed in front of my eyes, I became very sad. It was probably the worst day of my life. I knew very well that she did not like me and I did not deserve her. That boy is very handsome and Lisa deserving him. But I became very sad and cried a lot. That night, I tried many times during college to tell her about my feelings that I like her but never dared because I knew very well that she would reject me and maybe she would hate me for expressing my feelings. And it was a good decision of mine. I had so much for her in my heart, that I could not bear the fact that she hated me because I knew very well that all those boys who expressed their love for her, she started to hate them and I did not want her to hate me. And I could not see the hate in her eyes for me. It was true that she did not like me and I was not one of her good friends. But whenever she met me in a nicety and with good manners was enough for me. After that fateful night, Lisa and I never met again. After finishing college, I started working in a very good company. I had a very good salary and I was living a very good life. My parents died in my childhood and I lived with my aunt. She was very kind to me. She had no children. So she loved me like her own children. She bore all the expenses of my education training and provided me with every comfort from my childhood when my college was completed. And I started earning. She became very happy with my good job and always asked me to get married. But I never liked any other girl except Lisa and I kept avoiding her and I started earning. I wished that I could try to repay her favors. Life was going to be quite perfect, but it did not last long and my good luck turned into bad luck. The shares of the company I was working in were falling day by day and the company was going to fail. So the owners of the company closed it and I was fired from the job. I was very sad to leave my job. And I was saddened more than anything that I was not able to repay my aunt's favors, because at the same time, my aunt died and she had been ill for a long time. But all of a sudden, her condition started to worsen. And one day she left me alone. Then I moved to another city to try my luck and look for work. Or luckily I got another job soon, but there was a problem with my accommodation. So I stayed in a rented house near my company. That house belonged to an old woman and her granddaughter. During the days when I rented that house, only the bad woman was in the house. Her granddaughter was not there. I lived in the upper portion of the house where one room, kitchen, washroom and a small yard with a balcony. It was a nice enough house for me to live in after staying in rented house for a week when I returned to my house. As usual. One evening, I knocked on the door. I was surprised to see one thing and my eyes were wide open because that door was not opened by anyone else. It was opened by Lisa. This meant the old lady's granddaughter was Lisa and I was living at Lisa's house. We both were very happy to see each other. She then introduced me to her grandmother and introduced me to his friend. She knew me very well, which means she has not forgotten me yet. She still remembered me. It's a common sight to see. But this one was very special to me all night. We reminisced about our college days and like talking about college, we asked about each other's lives and what's going on. I came to know that she's working in a very good company. Then I told her about me and my job in conversation. I asked about her boyfriend who proposed her unfair a night. When she heard this question, she became silent and her facial expressions changed as if she did not like me asking about that boy. I asked her again and she told me they are no longer with each other. They broke up after 3 years of relationship. Hearing this, I felt very sorry for her because her face was full of grief and it was clear that she loved that guy very much. During my stay in this rented house, I became very close to Lisa and I became very good friends and we both started to like spending time with each other and she counts me as one of her good friends. I felt that she used to like me, but maybe just as a good friend. I loved Lisa before. But now my love has reached such a limit that I have decided to propose her for marriage. I did not want to lose this opportunity because no boy was with her at that time and she did not like anyone. I did not want to waste those days like my college days. so I wasted no time. One day I invited her to a restaurant near her home. I proposed her for the marriage. I was so afraid when I proposed to her, maybe she would slap me or start hating me. I thought that if she rejected me, I would walk away with her life and never see her face again. But Lisa gave me yes for marriage. On the contrary to what I thought, I was very happy to hear her answer. But as we're less surprised, even more surprising was that Lisa was insisting me to get married immediately. She wanted to marry her next week, and I loved her so much and I respected every decision of her. So we decided to marry the next week. All our prepared were very good and we got married in the presence of few friends. I felt that she might be afraid of her first experience in love and is insisting on marrying me soon, that we don't get separated from each other by getting into a long relationship. But the reality was the opposite, because a few days later after the marriage, while talking to each other, I jokingly asked her that you fell in love with me so much that you were ready and wanted to marry me soon. She answered me without any hesitation that no, I don't have any special love for you. I just wanted to marry you soon because my boyfriend was getting married next month and I wanted to take revenge on him. So I wanted to get married with anyone before his marriage. My vice word hurt me because that day, I found out that as much as Lisa is special to me, but I am not special to her. She just wanted to marry me as soon as possible to get revenge on her boyfriend. And I foolishly missed her it for her love. Even if I wanted to, I could not forget her words and distinguish constantly bothering me. I felt that my decision to get married her early was wrong. I should have spent some time with her so that I could make her fall in love with me and then marry her. All the time had passed and nothing could be done. So instead of regretting the past time, I started trying my best to make my wife happy. I was struggling so hard to make her fall in love with me. But I was proving to be a failure. She just treated me as her good friend. Even after marriage to me, her attitude was nothing special to me like it happens between two lovers. My wife did not love me at all, like I used to love her. One day I went to a restaurant to have lunch with some employees of my company. And I saw that my wife was sitting with a guy in the same restaurant and paying some attention. That was the same guy who proposed to my wife in college days. I was shocked to see this, but I felt like my wife was cheating on me. But I explained that no, they both were good friends. So maybe that's why they met. Well, I went home, my wife was cooking in the kitchen. I went near her in the kitchen. At first, I thought not to ask her what she was doing with that boy, but I could not control myself and asked her that today you were eating in a restaurant with your friend who had proposed to you. So she was not surprised or upset at all after hearing this from me and told me that we both suddenly met in a market and sat in the restaurant to talk to each other for some time. My wife told me her ex-boyfriend got divorced from her wife and they could not spend much time with each other. After this boy came into our life, my wife's attitude toward me was getting worse. She did not love me much before. But after this boy came, her attitude changed a lot. My wife started spending a lot of time with her ex. When I came home, she was not at home. And when I called her and asked her where is she, then I found she's with her ex. And whenever she was present at home, she used to talk to him on the phone. Most of the time it was as if my presence was not important in her life. I felt very bad and she was angry with me for many days without any reason. My wife was doing everything in front of me without thinking that her act could hurt me a lot. Whenever I forbade her, she used to argue with me and saying that she's doing all this because he's divorced from his wife. And I just want to ease his grief. I felt like I was doing it all on purpose. And one day the state of mind turned into reality. One day I was looking for a very important file of mine, when I found a notebook of my wife that she used to write in her spare time. When I opened the first page of the diary, there were 10 lines written on it showing how my wife divorced me. In these 10 lines, It was written that how my wife will marry her friend after divorcing me. When I read it, tears came to my eyes and I started crying. I tried my heart out to make my wife love me, but she could not love me despite all my efforts. After reading all this, I started hating my wife for some time and decided to leave her because staying with her after all, that was like wasting my time. So I wasted no time divorcing her and I reduced her 10-line plane to just 1 line by immediately divorcing her. After I divorced my wife married her friend only a month later to date. 3 years have passed since this incident. I also married another woman after 6 months of divorcing my wife. That girl loves me very much. I try my best to make her happy. We have a lovely daughter and I live a pretty happy life. Lisa was also spending happy life with her husband. We may never be as happy together as we are after being apart. Lisa and me often talk on the phone, but as a good friend, I don't hate Lisa anymore and I forgive her for what she did because Lisa has apologized to me and there was no point in hating her anymore.